Hello, guys, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. India has just won the T20I Series 3-1. And Karthik, I know the conversations that are going on in the group, and I just wanted to have a discussion on that because, see, honestly, the way we have played the T20I cricket since the T20 World Cup, it's been amazing. It's been refreshing. It's given me an escape as an Indian fan from the disappointments that we have had in recent times. I have enormous. I've become a fan. I think probably after the Dravid Sachin era, I was always a big fan, but I was kind of losing my enthusiasm to follow that Indian cricket team. And obviously, I still do follow, but that enthusiasm which I had in the childhood that got regenerated by this T20 team because of the dominance in T20I World Cup, then continuing the approach with a new set of personnel that we have had and how we played in South Africa. Those pitches are spicy. Let me tell you, in the SA20s that is going on right now, there are 10 out of 25 matches where they have not even reached 130. So it's difficult pitches in South Africa. We won a series there. Yes, there was an odd loss, but we won a series there. We absolutely hammered Bangladesh. We wanted to score 300 every match versus Bangladesh. And coming to this series versus England, I know they have a strategy. They've come with a pace attack that's been belligerent, but I expected India to wipe this, span this England attack absolutely and make it 5-0, make a statement. Probably I am the one who's having a higher expectations. And we have done great. I mean, we have won this series already 3-1. Although, there are that concussion substitute. There is something about that is still lingering. Even the England media and ex-cricketers are not, backing away from taking pot shots at BCCI and, unfair means that India is using. But still, we have the series 3-1. Uh, my comments in the group were directed for that specific match, which I feel we didn't try to win that game because I don't think we dug a hole so deep. We dug a hole so deep that we were, even if Axar had played a blinder there, even if Jurel had played a blinder there, I don't think we could have won that match because if you see what happened in fourth T20, let me just give you some of the stats. We were 2 overs 12 for 3, but we were 4 overs 37. We scored 25 runs in the next 2 overs. We took some risks. We had Rinku Singh taking the risk, odd risks. There was a top edge that flew over the keeper. Of course, then Abhishek took a risk and got out. He played a slog sweep. He tried to take on the spinner. Then we had Shivam Dubey coming in. Just the second or third ball, he goes for the slog sweep. Just when he has seen Abhishek, I know you say it's reckless, but I would say that's T20I cricket. He has just seen Abhishek getting out to a slog sweep and he takes on the same shot on the same
No,
ball.
no, I get what you're getting at, Shikhar, but I think we should not forget that the two conditions in the two matches were very different. This was a 200 par wicket, okay, and that was not a 200 par wicket. That in fact had no dew, and this had dew even in the first innings, even in second innings. So when you compare across games, I think the first thing you have to see is, are the conditions the same? Then I agree with you. It would have worked completely. We should have continued to take risks. And you touched on an important point at 12 for 3. What do you do? See, my whole belief is, I mean, this can vary from team to team and captain to captain. I think in the power play, the approach should be you attack every over pretty much until you lose 3 wickets. My feeling, right? Once
Mhm.
you lose 3 wickets, 1 second, 1 second.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
until you lose
I
three
totally
wickets,
agree with
right?
you there. I totally agree with
Yeah,
you there.
and after that, you have to sort of manage. After that, you'll have to sort of manage the game the way you see fit, right? In this case, at 12 for 3, I believe there were too many overs remaining for the power play to end. We were 12 for 3 in
Mm.
probably the
Two
second
overs.
over.
Yes.
So this was another unique situation where you had 4 overs of the power play to go. I
Mm.
mean, you can't just say I lost 3 wickets and in 4 overs of and power play you can't even take singles. You can't rotate strike because most of the fielders are up in the circle. So the only option for you to score in the power play is actually to make it a successful middle overs because the whole field is up and so on. So coming to your point of our approach, I liked our approach. I thought Rinku Singh and Abhishek Sharma, if you look at their strike rates, they were not very high, but they were just
Mm.
enough to give us some kind of momentum
Mm.
going into the middle overs. Okay. It
Mm.
wasn't like we ended up with 30 for 4 after the power
Mm.
play. We still made a few runs, almost 8 runs and over. And then, we built on that and got even better as the game wore on. So I like the approach. I completely agree with you on how we have taken on the game, and that's how T20 should be played. I don't have any
Mm.
fundamental
Mm.
issues with how T20 should they you should take on every ball today. If the
Mm.
pitch, I think in the first over you
And
assess the pitch
that's exactly
at best.
where my complaint is. See, we saw then let me just give you further context. Like we saw 10 overs 73 getting converted to 15 overs 113, 40 runs in the next 5 overs, with Rinku getting out, taking a risk in the 11th over after we had two quiet overs. And then we saw, Shivam Dubey actually trying to take the initiative to make it a successful middle overs, because we all know that 9 overs 70, 65 to 70 is kind of a requirement in today's high paced game. So I think that was brilliant. And how Hardik converted the death overs this time. He got his
No,
time, he settled down. But
I
this
would
time his
just
approach
like
was
to I
different,
would
Karthik. He
just
was
like to
he,
refrain from
if
I,
if you see, Hardik scored a boundary in his third ball. He scored a boundary in his third ball. He was playing run a ball. He was
no.
rotating.
I would like to refrain, Shikhar. I would like to refrain from templatizing
Hmm.
any T20 innings. I think we are going too much into templatizing that I need
Hmm.
this much in the middle overs, I need this much in the first overs. Yes,
Hmm.
all of that is true if it's a beautiful batting wicket. Okay?
Hmm.
If it's not, then you'll have to assess conditions. You'll have to see what you can do. If there's no dew, if it's a day game, there were a few games, I think even in T20 World Cup, where I believe Sky played an amazing innings against Afghanistan, if I'm not wrong. The ball was
Yeah.
turning and he managed to get a few boundaries away, and he was the
Hmm.
only one who was able to take on the bowling. Rohit, I think, fell early, if I'm not wrong, or somewhere in
Hmm.
between. But Sky played a 50, I remember off the top of my head. So if any one player is keen on taking on the spinners on a turning wicket, like in this case, Shivam Dube took him on,
Hmm.
is fair. But third T20, when you compare, Shikhar, the conditions were very different. Not a single batsman was able to middle the ball. Yes, we were 12 for 3 in 3 overs, but most of those balls were actually middled. Okay. And we lost Sanju Samson to that stupid trap that they've set. Ball was coming on nicely. Tilak Verma went, of course, he went off a thickish edge, but the ball is flying off the bat pretty much. And then you had Sky falling to that trap. He also tried to middle the ball over mid wicket and fell to short mid wicket. So when
Hmm.
conditions are in your favor, you continue to attack. I think what Hardik was banking on is two things. If you look at the 30-20, he is saying, look, at whatever for four, at 60 odd for four, chasing 170, another 100 runs away. If I don't take the game close enough, then your Akshars, your Dhruv Jurels will not be able to. Let's say we were 80 for 5 in the next over. It's almost impossible to carry that approach for the entire game scoring 90 runs. Instead, what you do is you reduce that equation to 10 or 12 needed per over, even 13 needed per over for the last 3 overs. And then you would have been a little bit in also. Maybe you back yourself to hit a couple of sixes every over, only for 3 overs. Okay. So the shorter the game, the easier that approach becomes on a wicket where it is a little tricky. Spinners would have gone out. They will also be under pressure if you hit 1 over for a couple of sixes. That was what was going on in his head. Of course, he failed. He tried, but then he couldn't get the fast bowlers away at the end. Neither was Akshar able to get the bowlers away. So ultimately, I agree with your approach, provided there is logic to suggest that that approach is going to get you runs, that the conditions are good enough for you to take on the bowling. If they are not, then you're not even giving yourself a chance. Here we all thought, hey, at least last 3 overs, 40 runs, 50 runs also, there's a possibility if we click for 3 overs, right? So my that's where I am coming from. Hardik tried and failed. It's not like he didn't try. It's not like he didn't want to win the game. So that's where my difference of opinion comes in.
Hmm. Fair enough, Karthik. So, glad we could discuss about this. So, Karthik, I think that's the wrap for today. Let's meet again after the fifth
Yeah.
20 T20I today, and we will have a further detailed analysis of this series going forward.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I just
hmm,
to close this point, and we'll
hmm,
analyze after the 50-20. You are right 85% of the time because in today's world, most of the pitches are batting friendly in T20.
hmm,
So you can basically close your eyes and templatize 80% of the games for
hmm,
sure. Because very
hmm,
few pitches you will see that are not up to the mark.
hmm,
Only when that kind of scenario comes in, even then we attacked for the first 6 overs, right? I mean, we tried
hmm,
our best. We lost 3 or 4 wickets. After that, there is some time where you decide that, okay, now I'll have to
hmm,
take the game deep.
hmm,
Okay.
hmm,
And I'll tell you one thing,
hmm,
in such games where the ball is turning, you have to
hmm,
bank on your top order to score. Tilak
hmm,
Verma and Sky are better batsmen than
hmm,
Hardik Pandya. Hardik
hmm,
Pandya is an excellent batsman in white
hmm.
ball, but
Right.
he is not comparable to Tilak Verma and Sky.
Hmm,
What you are probably expecting of Tilak Verma and Sky, if you expect of Hardik, he's not. He's not as good against high quality pace. Maybe he cannot get away Jofra Archer for as many runs like Tilak Verma did. Okay.
hmm,
So
hmm,
it is Tilak's role to then take it through. To your point, if you still want to continue attacking, then don't lose your wicket. You have to be good
hmm,
enough to then also attack and also bat in the top order, the top four. When it goes
hmm,
down to the all rounders, whether Washington Sundar, whether Akshar,
hmm,
whether Hardik is the better of the lot out of those
hmm,
three, but all three of them are not as good as Tilak Verma or Sky. This is another point I wanted to make. Okay,
hmm,
I'm not comparing them. Abhishek Sharma, Tilak
hmm,
Verma, Sky, Sanju Samson. These four are
hmm,
better than the next three,
hmm.
100%. And if you have to take on Mark Wood, Chopra Archer in those conditions, Adil Rashid, then these
Ideally,
guys
you
have to
don't
bat
want
12 overs.
Hardik Pandya to play the middle overs. You would rather have him playing the back end of the
No, he
innings.
cannot.
Hmm,
Yes, he cannot, especially in those conditions. For T20, as much as we praised Hardik's innings, it was much
hmm,
easier for him. Let me also
hmm,
put it there. The ball was coming on. You just
hmm,
needed to use the pace. The fast bowling, especially of Jofra Archer, was very poor. Very few
hmm,
times I've seen him bowl this poor. He was bowling in the slot. Yes, he was
hmm,
bowling 145 plus, but he was bowling everything in the slot, and his change of pace was very obvious,
hmm,
and easy for Hardik to dispatch. Even
hmm,
Bryden Cars. Jamie Overton was the only bowler who was trying to at least take the pace off the ball. Okay. The other bowlers were
hmm,
just trying to attack Hardik. I'll tell you, when he first came on, Hardik was very bad against fast bowling. I agree with you. But
hmm,
over the years, he has evolved and he knows his zones. He is still able to punish fast bowling if they don't bowl properly. Now, if you're telling me Archer, Wood, and Harris Rao bowling perfect Yorkers or perfect bouncers close to 150 Ks and Hardik can't take them on, yes, he can't take them on. That's his limitation. If anybody can take them on, it's the Virat Kohli, it's the Sky, it is the Sanju Samson, it is the Tilak Verma. Those are high quality batters who can take that bowling on. If you are
hmm,
expecting Hardik to take that bowling on,
hmm,
then I'm sorry, he's not capable. He has his limitations. He's not batting in the top four for a reason. So when
hmm,
the wicket is turning, if you give it to Hardik in that situation, he did the best he can. If he
hmm,
took on Adil Rashid and got out, game over. There is no way for 90
hmm,
runs you can expect Washington Sundar, Akshar Patel, and Dhruv Jurel continue on that approach for 90 runs.
hmm.
For
I
40
think.
runs, for 30 runs, it's possible.
What did you think of the three changes that we made? I know I'm extending this session a bit, but what did you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
of the three changes that we made from third to fourth T20I?
No, they were forced. I think they were very right changes. Shivam
Hmm.
Dube, I believe the team wanted someone who can play fast bowling as well. But this
Hmm.
time Shivam Dube was brought in because we were struggling not against the fast bowling, we were struggling against Adil Rashid. Shivam Dube was a tactical ploy to take out Adil Rashid from the game, and he did it.
Hmm.
Again, we'll do the same in the fifth ODI. All that Shivam Dube will do is use the pace of the fast bowlers. Jofra Archer bowled 5 balls to Shivam Dube when he was smacking it everywhere. Shivam Dube scored 0 of 5. He couldn't get bat on ball. But he took on Adil Rashid, and that is the game plan. I think Rohit Sharma preferred him to Sanju Samson even in T20 World Cup
Hmm.
because he said, I know Sanju is very good against pace, but I need someone who can absolutely demolish spin in the middle overs in
Hmm.
West Indies. And he did it.
Hmm.
You talk about the final, you talk about a couple of the other games where he made runs.
Yeah, he was good against
He
USA too.
took his
Yeah.
chances against Spain and he smashed
Hmm.
them. That's what
Hmm.
he did. Adil Rashid, 4 overs, I think 35 in this innings. Big
Hmm.
difference. Only
Hmm.
reason is Shivam Dube, despite
Yeah,
Hardik
true.
playing 3 or 4 dot balls. Right? So,
Hmm.
very brilliant tactical game plan against Adil Rashid to counter Adil
How do you
Rashid.
see
England
Washington
had no
Sundar? I
answer.
think we have not talked about him enough. Like, how do you see him? Because he has been player of the series in some of the previous series that we played. I think in Sri Lanka, Zimbabwe, and
That's more because of his bowling than his batting,
hmm,
I believe. Now, I love him as a batter as well. The only
hmm,
thing I'm not liking about him is he's losing his shape when he's batting against
hmm,
pace. What he's trying to do is he's completely opening himself up,
hmm,
and if somebody bowls outside off stump, he's nowhere close to the ball. If you bowl
hmm,
into his body, he's in a good position to still work
hmm,
you away or smack you because his position is so open to
hmm,
a right arm over the wicket bowler. But if the same right arm over the wicket bowler bowls wide outside off stump, his feet are nowhere to reach. So I think more like Tilak Verma, he should need to stay side on, he's capable of getting behind the line. He's played test cricket against some of the fastest bowling
yeah,
in
yeah,
Australia. So
hmm,
if he doesn't have ability, I would agree. If he's
hmm,
Shivam Dube, I would have agreed. Okay, that's his approach. But Washington has to back himself to keep his shape and smack it. Okay? If
hmm,
he can learn that range hitting by keeping his shape, like Yuvraj Singh or like Tilak Verma or any of those
hmm,
left-handers who keep their shape,
hmm,
and if he can work on that range hitting, maybe this IPL is the time for him. If he can work on it, he is a banker at number 8. But if he
hmm.
can't do that,
Number eight being the keyword. He should
if
be
he's
number
still
eight
staying
only.
away from the body,
He should be number eight only.
no, he
That's
can
what.
also be 7 if Akshar bats 8. He can also
Hmm,
be 7 if Akshar bat 8, but provided he
hmm,
does bat like a pure batsman. If he thinks I will clear my front leg against Mark Wood, if you see
hmm,
when what Mark Wood did wrong in that game that we won in second T20I to him,
hmm.
what did he do wrong? He didn't bowl wide outside off stump and full.
Hmm.
He
Yeah,
was
he did
waiting on the
smack
back foot and he
Markwood.
was taking roam.
We
Uh,
forgot. I mean, he was brilliant in that second T20. Actually, yeah, Washington.
no, he was brilliant, but you look at the type of bowling. He put mid off
Hmm.
up. He was bowling
Hmm.
back of length and
Hmm.
he was bowling into his body, trying to target his body.
Hmm.
This guy is ready for it. He's camping on the back foot. He's already opened up his body to swing his arms through. At
Hmm.
that time, you need to bowl wide and full outside the off stump. That's when it's going to be difficult for him to reach the ball. So I think tactically England were a little poor in that second T20 against
Hmm.
Sundar. I think he was lucky. We both also spoke about it. He was
Hmm.
lucky in a couple of those shots.
Yeah, he got dropped
But
as
yeah,
well.
it worked for India.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked for India.
Great.
Akshar
Thanks.
Patel. What do you think of Akshar Patel? One last takeaway.
I think
I
he's fabulous,
I
but I think he should be. See, Axar and Hardik, I think they can both rotate as number six and seven. I think that is where the position is very important. What we did that day versus Akshar was unfair. Sending him after Washington, I've seen Akshar
exactly.
finishing games versus Bumrah in IPL. I've seen Akshar bat number four. I mean, he batted number four in the final or number five in the final. So He's definitely, if you give him that time, he can finish you big games. I feel it was
That's the
very
key.
unfair
That's
to
the
put
key
him
phrase.
after Washington Sundar, and both absolutely made it. I wouldn't blame Axar and Jurel, to be honest, for that 30-20 I loss, because I think it will be very unfair to them to start
No, no, I'm not blaming
immediately.
him. I'm more concerned about the batting position of Akshar, like you rightly pointed out. I
Hmm.
agree with you. Maybe he should come ahead of Hardik. Hardik
Hmm.
likes few lesser balls, maybe,
Hmm.
and Akshar
Hmm.
likes a few more balls, maybe.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
my
yeah.
sense is at number six or number
Hmm.
five, particularly where Hardik is coming in, maybe it
Yeah.
makes sense to send Akshar at number five.
Absolutely. I
Only this,
agree. That's what I was saying. He should be number 6 or 7. He and Hardik can shuffle. Like if the situation demands you are already 125 for two and you are going into the death overs, then it's
in
Hardik,
fact,
obviously.
in this lineup in the 50-20, I would like to see Akshar at five. Rinku
Hmm.
at six, Hardik at seven. Rinku and Hardik can alternate
But Rinku
depending on
also
what is
needs some
needed.
time. Rinku also needs some balls under his belt.
No,
He's
but
also.
Rinku is still capable. Rinku is still
Hmm.
capable with lesser balls. I think Akshar is not
Hmm.
capable with lesser balls, or
Hmm.
at least against fast bowling. Against spin, he is very good. Against fast bowling, he probably likes to be in
Hmm.
a little bit before he can take them on. Number eight is too low for Akshar. I feel like he's
Hmm.
better off in that middle overs where he can
Hmm.
attack spin again along with Dubey, and he can also rotate strike. Hardik can come in after the 12th over at number six. Rinku and Akshar, I think you'll have to see basis the situation. If you have a
Hmm.
flyer of a start, then you continue with Rinku and put Akshar at the back end. But if
Hmm.
you have sort of 12 for 3 kind of start, I would have expected it's similar to what happened in the World Cup, right? We lost early wickets. He came in at number four and he played a match winning innings. That's what I would have expected. So, yeah, I completely agree on Akshar. I think he should bat up the order. At 8, he is being wasted.
Sure, sure.
All right.
So Karthik, let's meet. Viewers will be meeting after the fifth 28. Let's meet and let's discuss
Sure.
more. Thanks so much for joining again, and thank you viewers for watching our channel. Please subscribe and like our content.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.